Good afternoon, I'm Adventure Argonaut. This is a special stream about an issue that really annoys me, that I dislike, and I wanted to avoid looking at it, but it seems to be impossible to do that if you're online. And I am planning to do a proper gaming stream later tonight, but first let's talk about the red and blue button quandary that has become very Uh, heated up lots of discussion, let's put it that way, especially on Twitter, or X as it's called. First, I'm gonna just check that my streams are working. Yes, all right, all my streams seem to be working. All right, and this stream is gonna be a short one, like maybe 15 minutes. Let's see how much vitriol I can summon from myself to talk about this issue. So first, before we get into it, we should see what the quandary actually is, what the moral dilemma or intellectual dilemma, however you want to frame it, is. So it's here. Mr. Beast posted this a few days ago. Everyone on Earth takes a private vote by pressing a red or blue button. If more than 50% of people press the blue button, everyone survives. Is left if less than 50% of people press the blue button, only people who press the red button survive. Which button would you press? Be honest. And as you can see here, I didn't press either because I thought this was absolutely retarded, and I didn't think it was fun or insightful or anything like that. Like, because I think the whole test, like, personally, I would seek to prevent whoever is even making this sadistic test from, doing so. But yeah, blue won 56 to 44%, which is I think is still good. But I think, like, I refuse to press either button, like, because before I knew that this was gonna be a big controversy or whatever, I just saw I don't know if I saw Mr. Beast's post or a tweet or somebody else's talking about it, and I thought it's retarded, and there's many reasons why I thought that. Oh yeah, and first of all, like, I don't think if Mr. Beast even came up with this thing himself, or his handlers. They didn't come up. I heard, I live in Hong Kong, and supposedly this sort of stuff was popular like a year ago or something in Hong Kong, and people online were talking about similar quandaries. So it's not even like it's unique or original. um, but yeah, so I thought this was absolutely retarded, and I refused to push either button. But since a lot of people are talking about it, that they're basically making political ideologies based on the button they push, then I don't know. I feel like I'm obligated to say something. But yeah, for first, why I think it was dumb. Like, okay, first of all, like, who enforces that the buttons are pressed? Is it like the world government? Like, they're gonna send their bureaucrats to every single person on Earth and put a gun to their face that you have to press one of the buttons? How does, like, does it function on, like, Santa Claus logic? Like, Santa Claus is able to be in a million different locations at the same time on Christmas Eve? Is that how it works, or is it just magic? Like, that aspect doesn't make sense. Like, and and yeah, like, you're not supposed to think about it. Well, no, if it's supposed to be a moral or an intellectual dilemma, yeah, I'm supposed to think about, like, the logistics of it. I think that's important. And also, like, do people like Bill Gates, Trump, Netanyahu, Epstein, assuming he's alive, do they also have to press the buttons, or is it just for, us regular mortals? Like, if Bill Gates is in his special dome, his, bunker underground in New Zealand or wherever, are the government agents still gonna beam there, or is it aliens? Who is orchestrating this test? And, like, I've seen very few people even question this aspect. Like, this is sadistic. Like, who is making this test for us? Like, I'd rather fight against this evil agency that is forcing this test upon us. Because, I know it's fake, but this is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you think about it more than 5 seconds. And I didn't want to think about more than 5 seconds. But and what happens if you refuse to press the button? Will they just shoot you anyways, or you will die automatically, or will it like randomly choose one for you? Like none of these things are answered in it. Like because I don't want to press but most people are happy to press, but I wasn't. I never pressed any button. And yeah, so who is the person behind this whole scheme anyways? Well, I guess we can see the hint here. It's Mr. Beast, who wishes to be Aleister Crowley's great grandson, Mr. Therian 666. So it's clearly the Luciferian world, New World Order or something is pushing everybody to do that. And a lot of people are just happy to do it instead of questioning why are we pressing these buttons anyway. But it is like this fucking Mr. Beast. Like, people are thinking like, this is some great philosophical development, like, great philosophical ideas. Freaking Mr. Beast pushing it, and they don't question, like, they don't look that this is clearly a distraction from other stuff because my freaking feed on Twitter has been like 60% button pressing for the past few days instead of people discussing more relevant things like, I don't know, wars that may be going on or starting soon, or freaking Epstein cronies are still on the loose and like in places of power within our governments and all that stuff. But like, nope, there's just some people who are happy to say like I'm morally superior because I pressed a certain color of button. So yeah, why would you submit to this game anyways? Like, these are just like obvious questions about this stupid game to begin with, why I refuse to play it. But okay, let's assume for a moment that we just have to do it, like for whatever reason. Like, let's say that I will die anyways if I don't press a button. So which one is the correct option? So, like, obviously, if you think about it a bit, if you press red, it's the smart option. Like, if you just think it as an intellectual exercise and you don't think further about it, like, yeah, it's smart because if you press red, you cannot die. It's smart in that way, sure. However, that's not the right option if we really assume that this game is real. That's life and death situation, literally. Like, I don't think red is the right answer. And of course, blue is just the magnanimous. Like, which one would Jesus press? Like, of course he would press blue because if he presses red, he would potentially kill a lot of people. Like, assuming he's the one deciding vote between 51 and 49. Or so yeah, naturally Jesus would choose blue and stuff. And I'm not saying it necessarily means that it's the right choice, but at least that's something to think about at least. But the well, the red button is for the selfish boomer libertarians, like spiritual boomers, because it kills the children. Because that's my great issue. Like, okay, if I'm forced to think about this conundrum seriously, like the issue is not like it's not whether some adult is too dumb to see that it's smart to press the red button. Like, yeah, sure, but like this forces everyone on earth. It includes freaking children, like babies. They don't understand. If you like, how would this happen? Like, these um, presumed like government bureaucrats come to your house, or I don't know, somebody said teleport you to the voting place. Maybe that's how it works. Like, they're gonna tell you, like, okay, they're gonna say this verbatim, like, you have to press one of these buttons, and this is what happens if you press this or that. Like, there's plenty of children who do not understand language at all. Kids under the age of 3, basically, or like they understand a little bit. Like, my son is a bit under 2 years old, Like he wouldn't understand. You try to explain to him, like, what this is. Like he wouldn't understand. He understands some stuff. Like, maybe I could try to tell him, like, you press red button. Press red button is good because, sure, for my son, I would certainly tell him to. If I had the option to influence his vote, I would tell him to press the red button because he cannot die, and I don't want him anything bad to happen to him. But that's not how it works here. I think it says, yeah, it's a private vote. So parents wouldn't be able to influence their children. They wouldn't be able to coach them um, according to this scenario, which is retarded. Um, so yeah, so basically, the thing would be that bunch of children would be just put in some random room with possibly the bureaucrats, forcing them, giving them two button, red and blue button, and the kid would just press whatever button they would prefer. That's basically random. So like statistically speaking, 50% of small children would press blue. So that is why I think any moral person who actually thinks about it would press blue. Because otherwise you're just, boomer, psychotic boomer who is willing to sacrifice the children for his own well-being. Yeah, but this is a sadistic Squid Game, so which is why I freaking didn't want to play it, and I despise these people who think like they're so freaking smart that, oh, I press red so I don't die, but then they don't think about it, because I've seen people assume that, like, no, it doesn't affect children, but that it doesn't say that. They're so fucking dumb. They can't even like read, but they're still bragging online. Like, okay, I have few examples here. Like this guy, Alzella, Dragoness of Truth. For those unfamiliar, it's actually an intelligence test to see if you are smart enough to press the red button. Red is for individualism, blue is for collectivism. See, they make it out to sound like it's some really smart and high intellectual challenge. Like, no, it's very stupid and simple, and yet you fail it. Like, these people are literal subhumans, and I'm gonna start my fucking Nazi party to just to send them to fun camps. This red, and I don't mind. Like, if you took the test, like you saw the buttons, it's like, okay, you think about it for 5 seconds, and okay, I'll press this one. I don't mind if you press red or blue, but like these people who try to justify, like, I'm so smart, I thought so much about it, and either they thought about it and they don't care about the hypothetical kids they would be murdering, or they're just too fucking dumb, but they pretend I'm so fucking smart with my high IQ test. And anyway, so blue is for collectivism. Blue's percentage is, if it's lower than red, they all perish, while those on red will survive and thrive. Individualism is a guarantee of self-preservation. Collectivism can only take you so far in short-term prosperity until it inevitably becomes long-term poverty. Yeah, whatever. So it's like, it's absolute nonsense. Also, I've noticed that, generally it seems to red is for conservatives or right wingers, and blue is for leftists and stuff, sort of like, Republican red and blue Democrat, and it's just, it's interesting, but it's like, yeah, that just goes to show why I don't identify as left or right or centrist, because most people are fucking retarded and that they shouldn't have human rights, basically. And there's this emerald apple. I'm not gonna even read all this. This red blue thing revealed that why the West is collapsing like it is. We have nearly 60% of people who voted in these so-called polls voting blue, but the reality is that when the choice becomes real, many will turn around, vote red instead. History is cold, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, I don't get, like, there's like, hundreds of tweets like this, like, wall of text trying to justify pressing red, or like this meme. So yeah, reds are just walking on the bridge, and blue is quick walk across our bodies, we'll save you. It's like, yeah, the children are in the ravine because the red don't care. Like, either they are too dumb, or they are too psychotic, sociopathic to care about this. Like these people, like, and I don't think this test. I've said too many times already. I'm repeating myself that this test is fucking retarded. Like, it was fucking retarded but these people, like, they think they're so freaking smart because they understand. They see how it is, but no, they don't even understand that no, they'd be dooming countless children to their deaths if this was the case. Like, you have a freaking 1 day old baby and you tell him to press one of the buttons or else, and he doesn't understand your explanation, and the baby cannot even press the button. Like a, a baby that young can only lie on their back and, shit and cry and sleep. They can flail their arms, but they can hardly see, I think. So what this experiment is revealing that is that anyone who would choose blue is completely allergic to the concept of personal accountability. Yeah, like children, yes. So let the children die, that's what you think. No, bitch, you died because you chose blue. Grow a fucking brain. Yeah, say that to children, you fucking moron. Like, these people are genuinely subhuman. Like, I'm not gonna like mince any words. Like these people, like there's so many people proud of this. Like they think they are smart and they don't even understand. Like they can't even read. Like I've seen people assume that like no, it wouldn't include children because children cannot consent. Well, I don't fucking consent to this test, but if we assume that this test is real, it doesn't say that children are excluded from the vote. So every freaking child, no matter how small, like I guess they have to be born. If they're still in the belly, I don't think they're gonna be cut from the mother's belly to be forced to vote. And Chernovich, yeah, this is supposed to be some game theory morality test. If you push blue, wow, you're such a good person. Only bad people push red. Nonsense. This is an IQ test. Yeah, IQ test, and you failed, Chernovich. Like, I despise Mr. Beast like anyone should, but I do sort of like that he's exposing like his lazy bullshit test is exposing these people as the true scum of the earth that they are. No redeeming qualities. So yeah, I'm not putting my life into the hands of dysgenic freaks. If you're not smart enough to push red, see you later. Yeah, like freaking bye bye toddlers, bye bye. You pressed blue because you like blue color. Bye, you deserve to die. That's what these people think. Or they didn't even think about it, which is I don't know which is more pathetic. That they didn't. Like they act that they're so fucking smart and yet they just it didn't occur to them. Nowhere does it say that children are excluded. It doesn't say like, well, okay, it's voting. Usually, it's voting for only for adults, but well, some countries don't even vote. So it's this says everyone on Earth. That means freaking children. And very few of these fucking morons note it. Like, but yeah, I appreciate that we see like it makes me appreciate our ancestors, mankind's ancestors, much more because they understood that many people are truly subhuman and they don't really deserve the same rights. Like, Vikings, for example, they had the freemen and the slaves and stuff because some people they're just morally and intellectually inferior, and you're harming everybody if you pretend otherwise. And it's this, and I'm not saying like see, if you press the red button, yeah, it seems like if you don't think it all the way through, it seems like the right option. But like people who are trying to justify pressing the right red button even after all these days, they're either too dumb or too immoral to be considered human in any like proper sense. But yeah, of course, this and these people they seem to care more about getting their Reddit level midwits, even though they're like right wing Reddit level midwits that they show their e-smart so much online. But they care more about that than actually uh, freaking the Iran war that might be heating up again, or Israel wars for Israel that the West is fighting, or Epstein and his friends. Like, no, let's forget all about that. Let's just play this stupid button game and pretend like we are smart. I'm not fucking kidding when I say these people are subhuman. This test is so like humanity's IQ went down like 75 points just uh, when this test appeared on Twitter and all that. It's like this is so fucking retarded. And hey, my solution is to recognize that these people are subhuman and don't pretend like they're your equals in any way. Or like if I'm wrong about this, that pressing red majority would lead to millions of children deaths. Like if I'm wrong, if I'm the dumb one, please tell me. But I don't think I am. It's quite obvious here that it would also apply to children. And it doesn't matter what your head canon is. Like if we're gonna do the test, we are doing the test as it's written here. Like there's no bargaining with it. But that's it. I'm done with this bullshit. I hope I never have to think or talk about this stuff anywhere. But I just despise mankind. But still, children, like most children when they grow up, they end up to be retarded assholes. But like they have potential. That's why we have to protect the children, and even on a, I don't know, intellectual level or whatever, because the people this dumb or immoral as this, like they will harm children, like not maybe not directly, but like indirectly, but by being such fucking uh, subhuman scum. But that's it. I'm Adventure Argonaut. I'm fucking pissed.